Hello, Lingam Director. I've recently been studying Shaivism. I often hear discussions about Shiva's powers of destruction and creation, but I'm very curious, what are the core moral codes that a Shaivite should follow in daily life?
An excellent question, Mr. Wah. The moral core of Shaivism is actually very profound. It originates from a fundamental belief called Monism. To put it simply, we believe that the essence of every living being, Jiva, is in fact one with the Supreme Lord Shiva.
Wow. So does that mean you, I, and even a blade of grass by the roadside all have the same divinity as Lord Shiva within us?
Precisely. Lord Shiva is not only the ultimate reality that created the universe, but also the higher self at the deepest core of each of our souls. Once this is realized, all moral actions arise naturally. This brings us to our first principle, the oneness of all life, which means eliminating all discrimination.
Eliminating discrimination? That sounds rather abstract. Could you give a specific example?
Of course. You can imagine a very special form of Lord Shiva called Ardhanarishvara, who is half male, Shiva, and half female, Parvati. This form teaches us that all seemingly opposite dualities in the universe, such as male and female or spirit and matter, actually come from the same single indivisible reality. Therefore, in daily life, a good devotee must strive to eliminate all discrimination and prejudice based on caste, color, gender, or species. When you understand that the same divinity shines within every living being around you, you will naturally respect them all equally.
I see. Because harming others is essentially harming the divinity within them, and thus harming oneself. Does this connect to the next principle?
Exactly right. This leads to the second principle, universal love and non-violence, which is respect for the divinity within. Since all life is essentially Shiva, inflicting violence on any being, whether in body, word, or thought, is a desecration of that divinity. This is why we steadfastly hold the principle of ahimsa, or nonviolence.
But I'm a bit confused. Doesn't Shiva also have a wrathful and destructive aspect? His dance can even bring an end to the entire universe.
That's a great question. Shiva's destruction is for the sake of cosmic renewal and rebirth. It is a necessary cycle. But as the Adi Yogi, the first yogi, he more often displays ultimate peace and a pure, selfless love for all beings. Therefore, what a devotee must learn is to extend this love and compassion to all life, strictly adhering to precepts like not killing and not speaking falsely, viewing nonviolence as a crucial step for accumulating good karma and advancing toward spiritual awakening.
I see now. From recognizing the oneness of all to practicing nonviolence and universal love. So what is the third principle? How does it elevate these concepts?
The third principle is sacrifice and service, which is learning to bear the burdens of the world. This comes from a very great story about Lord Shiva. He's known as Nilakanta, the blue-throated one, because when the universe was threatened by a deadly poison, he alone drank it all to save all of creation. The poison did not kill him, but it stained his throat blue.
That's a beautiful story. He sacrificed himself for all beings.
Yes, it is the highest model of sacrifice and bearing burdens. In our lives, this means we must set aside our personal desires and ego, I-ness, and act for the greater good. We are to offer ourselves through selfless service, or seva, such as engaging in charity or helping the community, and viewing all our actions as worship to the divine. When we face suffering and hardship, instead of complaining, we should emulate the spirit of Nilakanth, bearing it with courage and seeing these trials as opportunities to purify ourselves and accelerate our spiritual transformation.
Thank you, Lingam Director. I've truly learned a lot today. So, to summarize, the moral code of Shaivism begins with the recognition that all is one with God, which gives rise to the compassion of nonviolence and is finally expressed in the world through selfless service.
You have summarized it perfectly, Mr. Wah. That is the complete path from inner awakening to outer practice.